Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough for you guys. His name is Tyler Neville. He's a tight end out of Harvard. Nice to meet you, sir.
Yep, nice to meet you as well. Thanks for having me on.
Sure, no problem. So Tyler Neville, he's probably one of, if not the best tight end in all of the Ivy Leagues, and not just the Ivy Leagues. I would say probably one of the best small school tight ends as well. So got some size to you, got a lot of experience. Your first team all conference last year. But before we get talking about anything else, man, set the stage, tell us where you're from, and we'll get churning through this story a bit.
Yep, so I'm from good old Williamsburg, Virginia, Jamestown. Hopefully people know that, a little historical landmark. I grew up with five other siblings, actually. Actually, at the time of this interview, my oldest brother, his wife is in labor, so I'm about to be an uncle probably about in a couple hours.
All
So a
right,
little
sounds
fun
great.
tidbit. But yeah, from Williamsburg, Virginia, I grew up a big family. I'm the fourth to six. About the third D1 football player in my family.
Interesting. Where's the rest of your family end up?
My father played at the United States Naval Academy, and then my brother played at Army West Point, actually.
Cool. Well, we'll get to talking more about your story. So, again, you said from the Williamsburg, Jamestown-esque area. Went to Lafayette High School, is what I was able to bring up when I was researching you. So, talk to me a little bit about what it was like there playing a high school football at Lafayette High School.
Yeah, so most people probably don't know Virginia football will be watching this, but it's a powerhouse. I think when I'd come in, we had won like 72 straight district games. Um, and I think I only played 2 years of high school football due to some medical complications. My freshman kind of carried on to my sophomore year. I think in my 2 years, I lost like maybe three career games.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, as a wing T offense, as a tight end, that's not the most fun. But it was definitely a great high school football program that prepared me very, very well.
Interesting. So wing T. I feel at times sometimes the football scheme in high school might affect a person's recruiting. And I don't know if that was the same in your case, or at least if you think so. But talk to me about the whole recruiting phase with you coming out of high school.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't know if I'm on Twitter, you'll probably see this, but I'm a cancer survivor. So actually, my first 2 years of high school, I didn't play football as a result of cancer and being in chemotherapy. So that led me to start playing football my junior year. I was just a basketball player beforehand, and so as a result, I was like about 180 pounds as a tight end. So recruiting wise, I got my first offer from William and Mary, local school, like 5 minutes from my house. And I kind of got recruited, even though I was 185 pounds, with that a big frame, and I had showed explosion, some athleticism in my film. I carried over for basketball, and then I ended up being pretty highly recruited. I think I ended up with 30 plus D1 offers, multiple Power Fives. But uh, I told my family I definitely visit the Ivy Leagues just because the academic pedigree they have.
Sure,
And I
why not?
visited. Yeah, I visited. Got to sit down with Coach Murphy, the rest of the staff. Kind of fell in love with the staff, fell in love with the place, and I went home and I committed about 3 days later.
Interesting. You had also shared about your family being part of the military academies. Was that ever a possibility? I mean, did you mull over that a little bit before you know, just making that decision or what?
Yeah, so the Naval Academy was my dream as a kid growing up. But Navy's offense isn't geared towards a tight end. They really don't have a tight end on the field a lot. And what they offered me as outside linebacker. And I like the outside linebacker. I played in high school as well, but I really like tight end a decent bit more.
Well, maybe they would have made you into a wide receiver. You never know.
Yeah.
Anyways, interesting. I appreciate you sharing that story. And as you spoke of at least a little bit earlier, you're also a basketball athlete in high school, pretty decent one at that also. So, talk to me about that for you.
Yeah, so I actually probably was I had more accolades in basketball than I did football, to be honest, because I played for 4 years, a couple time first team all state, player of the year, 1,000-point scorer. Really, I love basketball. Um, and I played on the Adidas Gauntlet shoe sponsor team out of DC my sophomore year. But then when I was cleared to play football again, I mean, I came from a football family. I knew as soon as I played football, I would never play D1 basketball. And then like my sophomore year, I was late. I had a couple opportunities offers to play D1 basketball, but my ceiling wasn't crazy high. I think it was a lot higher in football. And I do miss basketball a lot. But I think I made the right choice.
So, are you a big basketball fan? Is that something that you follow or what?
So my brother actually went to Villanova. He did ROTC there. I didn't play a sport, but he went to Villanova when they won 2 national championships. So naturally, I became a huge Villanova basketball fan. That's probably the only team I really follow.
Gotcha. Cool. So, let's continue to walk through this journey a little bit. I mean, again, in high school, you decided obviously Harvard was the way to go. Obviously, Harvard, a lot of people know it as one of, if not the best academic school, maybe not just the country, but the whole world. But in general, to you, I just want to ask the question, what makes Harvard so special for you?
Definitely the people there. Harvard is ridiculously diverse. I've met people from all walks of life. I mean, hundreds of different countries. Um, like some of my best friends are from across the US. Like, I mean, one of my roommates is from Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, that's probably like the only person I've ever met from Nebraska. No offense to people in Nebraska. Um, but also it's somewhat of a grind between academics and athletics. So I was talking to my dad about this. It's, I would say, similar, but definitely not to the same extent as a service academy. Service academies, you have the military obligations, and like kind of football is your like way out, as my dad would describe it, and that kind of builds a bond within the locker room. And I'd say it's the same at Harvard. Like, academics are tough. Lord knows I haven't had it easy academic wise, but I mean, football is football, and the gridiron is gridiron. So when you get away from the classroom a little bit and be on the football field, it's the same goalpost anywhere.
Yeah, I mean it's Division One talent, and lately I've had the opportunity to interview a handful of guys from the Ivy Leagues, and the one thing that I keep saying over and over and over, some really good talented football players coming out of the Ivy League. So let's get to talking a little bit more about some football, and if you don't mind, kind of explain that offense a little bit that you play in.
Yeah, so it's a ridiculously up tempo offense, a lot of RPOs. I love the inside zone. Um, run it down your throw, and then we'll take the top off. Really, I love the offense. It's pretty tight end friendly. We got away from the tight end, I think, a few years ago, but now it's kind of like this season. I had, you know, a huge role in the offense, and I think that will definitely continue to grow. It's a fun offense because we're never in a huddle. We huddle up once with like immediate timeout or a timeout, and we're going to the field. Regardless of that, it's signals. We're go go go, and we're trying to get in as many plays as you can.
Interesting. And so for you as a tight end, like you said, the offense does make things very tight end friendly. Just as you watch like the RPO unfold, I mean, a lot of times you're that outlet for the quarterback. So, what do you feel separates you as a player? I mean, tell me about how you would describe yourself as a tight end.
Well, I think I naturally enjoy blocking. I feel like it's, somewhat of a lost art. In the NFL now, tight ends don't love to do it as much. I think it's just an effort thing, and I play with a lot of effort. Um, but also, I think the best thing about me is I'm explosive. I'll test very well. And right now I'm working on, the more receiver aspect of my game. Try to play in the slot a lot more. I played out wide in the slot a decent amount last year. But I want to be a little more versatile, better in open field. So that's kind of what my summer's going towards right now. I had a few opportunities to do that stuff last season, made a couple guys miss, but this season I really want to be like all in one tight end, like a big receiver type.
Sure. So, Tyler, right now, what's your current height and weight status? What do you what are we looking at here?
I'm like no shoes off, the heels together. I'm like 6'3.5". I'm just over 6'3.5". And then weight, I'm like 253. I'll be 253, 250 range. Um, Probably drop a few pounds to play a little more mobile. Um, that's kind of the discussion I'm having with my trainer right now, trying to find that perfect weight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a little bit of balance with a lot of those things that you had talked about. I mean, trying to get yourself into the right position to do what your offense requires you to do, obviously block, but then also, go out as a receiver, maybe in the slot or what have you, and just kind of be that one guy, for your quarterback. I mean, as a receiver, what would you say is like your own personal, like one of your favorite plays to run? Like if you were to say like, is it a post, a drag, or go route? What is that for you that you like hearing?
I love a good corner ball. I'm a big fan of the corner ball because at the top of the route, I think I can manipulate the DB, get him to flip his hips the wrong way. And then it's a nice little over the top ball. And I love a good corner route.
Well, I mean, you're a big physical guy. You get one of these skinny corners next to you, you just kind of give him a little rub, you know.
Little chicken wing,
Um,
yeah.
however you want to call it. I don't want to call it a flag, but you know what happens all the time. You got to get physical out there and separate yourself somewhat, and then of course get open. But it is how it is. So, um, why don't you chit chat a little bit about maybe some of the best moments that you've had out there for Harvard? I mean, I understand last season, maybe a down season for Harvard in general, but 2021 was pretty good, man. You guys went out there, had an 8-2 season. So talk about some of your best moments so far.
Yeah, Princeton, I always love playing Princeton. They always allow me to have a career day. Every time I play Princeton, it's career high. And so I love them for that. Um, yeah, I know our 2021 season was the five overtime kind of BS game. That Princeton loves it. Um, so I enjoy playing Princeton. They play with a lot of heart, and I think those guys over there hate me a little bit. After
Which is a good thing.
after we lost to Princeton this past year, I had a good game. I had like 80 something yards, a touchdown. But I see I'm signed up for a Princeton Athletics emailing list. They put my email on, so I'd get an email saying like Princeton defeats Harvard. So those guys don't like me. So anytime we're playing Princeton, it's always a memorable moment. Always a huge game. And then I scored in the Harvard Yale game this year, which was sweet, and from whatever 35, 40,000 to be able to score and probably have like 20, 30 family members in the stands. That's definitely a feeling I'll never forget.
Well, I mean, obviously talking about some of your rivals there. I mean, getting one over on your rivals, obviously, an awesome thing. So, love hearing that. Tyler, as a guy who's going into maybe perhaps his final season there at Harvard, I know things are a little wacky with eligibility. So we'll see if we can, I don't know, maybe work in another semester there. But what are your own personal goals with you coming to this upcoming season?
This season, I want to, I want to win Ivy League championship. I think it's definitely in the cards. We have a little quarterback battle going on with Charles Prima, Connor Easto, both have ridiculous arms, and Jaden Craig, a dark horse in there. So we have a great quarterback battle, three solid options. We return a lot of good guys. Our captain Nate Leskovic, um, he's coming back for a fifth year. So I think we really have the tools to win Ivy League championship. And down year last year, but definitely on the way up. And then personally, I mean, I want to have 50 catches. I want to have, 70, 100 yards. I want to have 10 plus touchdowns. I think, we lose Kim Wimberly, who, was a 50 catch guy, I don't know how many yards, probably like 800 or something, and a handful of TDs. So someone's going to have to kind of replace that production. And I mean, I was, the second leading guy. So I'm looking forward to definitely an increased role. And then blocking wise, I just want to kind of dominate. Um, I don't really think there's anyone I'll play who um, I'm not gonna fare up well against. So I'm very excited. I want this year to be one of domination.
Well, let's kind of be confident about this. You're gonna hand it to them. I mean, let's just let's talk let's talk some smack. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, obviously, I mean, it's a competitive game. So I definitely understand what you're talking about there. So cool. So yeah, obviously very great story. A guy who persevered through really some of like the I guess worst hardships, honestly, in high school. But obviously, you've gotten yourself to a point where you're going to be an NFL prospect, man. I mean, you are an NFL prospect. I mean, how is that hitting you right now? I mean, are you ready for that yet, or what?
Yeah, so I kind of had that realization. I think like that's always my goal. You asked me freshman year of college before I played a snap, like what do I want to do? I was like, I want to play in the NFL. I'm gonna play in the NFL. That was always the goal. But I think this season it was kind of like a realization, like halfway through, had a few good games, nationally televised games, and then boom, it was like agents hit me up. Scouts were like all talking to me during practice and stuff. And then this past spring, it's like, taking the Wonderlic test, meeting with a bunch of NFL teams, I mean, agents galore, really. So I decided like this summer is going to be, make or break summer. I want to get drafted. And I want to get drafted fourth or fifth round. That's the goal. So I'm actually living in Dallas, Texas right now. I'm training down at Exos. I mean, every day I work out with 14 NFL guys. I'm the only college guy there. I was lucky to get in the group. I get to work out with like I don't know, some of the best guys in the NFL. Like work out with Ezekiel Elliott, Quan Treadwell, like some of the best receivers to ever do it. And also good to be around the best trainers, and really in the world. So this summer, really, I think season I'm gonna turn some heads just because what I've been doing down here.
Well, man, if you're training with some of those, talented guys down there, I mean, sky's the limit, man. We're really expecting a lot out of you this upcoming year. So, um, all right, Tyler, I want to take a moment to not talk football for just a couple minutes, so that we can get to know the guy under the helmet. So, uh, anything about you that you want to share, whether it be your hobbies, interests, or anything interesting about you that maybe not everybody knows?
Um, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I like to travel. Me and my roommates went to Europe over winter break. We all backpacked a few countries. Recently, I've gotten into traveling a bit more. It's tough on the pockets, but yeah, I definitely as I've grown older and wiser, I've realized the importance of seeing new things. So I've really kind of invested a lot of time and certainly money into kind of traveling and broadening my horizons, definitely.
Cool. Is there like a bucket list spot that you have yet to visit that you want to visit at some point?
I really want to go to Italy. I'm Italian, really. My mom's side, I have family in Italy, but I have never been. So that's definitely a bucket list. I want to tour the whole country, be there for about a week. That's kind of what I want to do.
Cool. Tyler, just kind of want to run some quick questions to you. So kind of quick, question answer thing. So whatever comes to your brain, all right? Um, favorite breakfast cereal?
Kicks.
Kicks. Man, that takes me back.
Yeah.
Favorite snack food?
Um, Anything dark chocolate. I like
Anything
a
dark
little sweet
chocolate?
snack. I would love
I
dark chocolate.
definitely love me some dark chocolate. Um, favorite movie?
Favorite movie. He's no, I don't have maybe
What was the last good one you watched? Let's say that.
I watched 8 Mile on the airplane a couple weeks ago, and that gets me fired up.
All
I've seen
right.
it a couple times.
You have a favorite TV show that you like to binge watch, or you
Oh,
suggest somebody binge watch?
I think it's a crime if you haven't seen Breaking Bad. I'm actually about to finish Better Call Saul right now. And I think those two are ridiculously good.
Cool, cool. Um, it's karaoke night and you got to sing something. What are you singing?
Um, Head Over Boots by John Party.
Okay. Um, and last one, this one might be a little bit this will steer us back to some football. It's the zombie apocalypse, and you got to pick three of the dudes there for Harvard to be on your side in your corner. Give me three dudes there that are must to be on your team.
Thor Griffith, you probably know him.
Yeah.
Freak human being, would probably eat a few zombies himself. Um, um, Matt Hudson, is the same idea, but more versatile, and I think mentally we could come up with a pretty good game plan against the zombies. And then probably my roommate, Callie Cannavale, our kicker for comedic relief during a tough time.
Comedic relief. I love it. That's the only reason why he's being kept.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe if he has to kick something for you, he'll
Yeah.
be there at that time. So, um, Tyler, it's been good. Just kind of having fun, getting to know you and your story. But want to wrap things up. So, why don't you go ahead, look into that camera, and address all those scouts out there that might be seeing you this year, and um, give them the reason why they need to take a chance on you. So, hit them with your pitch.
Yep. So I'm a I'm I love the game of football. And I decided to take a different route than I think most Ivy League guys would take. I forgo my summer internship, and my job is football right now. I think I'm explosive tight end, who can block anyone. I think blocking the NFL will be something I can adapt to pretty well. And also I think I have some of the best hands in the Ivy League. And I think mixed with my vertical, like there's not a ball I can't get. Um, So I think I translate great to the pros, and I'll do whatever.
Cool. Well, definitely a solid overall tight end that people really need to keep their eyes on this season. I mean, do feel like, hey, if you're training hard, if you're absorbing a lot of what you're, surrounded by down there at Exos, I mean, you're going to have a phenomenal season. So, do wish you all the best this season and beyond. All right.
Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate it and appreciate your time.
Sure. Tyler Neville, tight end, Harvard. Check this guy out.